I'm the elf from Down the Hobbit Hole blog. This is the Hobbit from Down the Hobbit Hole blog. We're Sarah and Bill, and we're going to talk real quickly about episode 1 of season 2. Season 2 is finally here. Yay! Opening of season 2 mirrored the opening of season 1 in that in season 1 we got Galadriel's backstory, and in season 2 we get a little bit of Sauron's backstory.
Right. And we don't go all the way back like we do with Galadriel. What we start out at the beginning of the Second Age, and Sauron is basically, he has gathered all the orcs together. His vision is that he is going to bring peace and prosperity by bending everyone to his will. So you do it my way and everybody's going to be happy.
Which is the thought process of all evil dictators.
Right. So he is, he's got this set. He says, I know most of you orcs are going to die, but it's in a good cause. And Adar, who's there, goes to crown him. He flips the crown around, stabs him. The orcs come in, and even Sauron, with his supernatural ability, he can't fight off an entire orc army. And it is assumed they kill him. They don't kill him. You see his blood dripping through the ground. It seeps down into a cavern.
Really
over
creepy.
Thousands of years.
Yeah.
Again,
parent warning, the series is definitely going into a vein that is more serious, more violent, more bloody than the original trilogy of movies.
So, but anyway, we Sauron slowly over thousands of years reconstitutes himself.
Yes.
And he finally latches onto a human body and is able to reconstitute himself into a human being with the shape of Halbrand. And it kind of flash forwards to Halbrand meeting travelers on the road, being on a ship, the ship being attacked by a sea monster, which he may have called.
Yeah, I think so, because you see the cruelness and the evilness now instead of just the pure people pleasing aspect of it. Like, see him be cruel and evil and awful.
So he and it gets us back to where we were in season 1 with him meeting Galadriel on the raft.
Yes.
So, and this is a long, like 20-minute intro. Then we have the title credits, and we run the remainder of the episode. The remainder of the episode,
really focuses on the rings.
Right.
On the rings being made, and on Elrond realizing that Halbrand is Sauron and bringing that to the king's attention.
We've got the elves. Galadriel wants to use the rings, and she wants to go after Sauron again.
Yes.
And Gil-galad is convinced that they need to try the rings to see if they can save their existence in Middle-earth. Elrond grabs the rings. He flees to Cerdon, who is the oldest elf in Middle-earth. Finally decides that they need to use the rings. They do so. Elrond is kind of crushed, but it's finally beginning to come around a little bit. They send a message to Celebrimbor that Halbrand is Sauron,
but it's implied that the message doesn't get there.
In Mordor, Halbrand is captured and reveals to Adar that Sauron has returned. Of course, he's not.
He doesn't say he's Sauron. He just says Sauron is back.
Returned. I know you hate Sauron's guts.
Yeah.
So I will help you find Sauron if you let me go.
Yep, I've gotten valuable information for you.
Right. Basically. So, but Halbrand basically kind of knows what's going on now with the with what Adar is doing, and we also get a real quick look at Nori and the Stranger. They're lost. They're going around in circles, and all of a sudden, and they realize someone's following them, and they
have 2 people. They have 2 people following them, actually. But yay for Poppy showing up.
One of the people following is Poppy, and she brought some maps with her. And if one of the one of the most memorable moments out of season 1 was Poppy singing their Wandering song.
Yes.
Beautiful tune. Copyrighted, so we can't play it here for you, but
No.
go to your favorite
But there
music
are
player,
lots
look
of
up.
beautiful covers of it too.
Right.
So
So,
yeah.
and she starts, and you hear the strains of this in the background, and she repeats the words, and you realize, and she says, these are actually instructions.
Mm-hmm.
We must have been here a long time ago. These
Yep.
are instructions on
Yes.
on
How to
markers,
go. Yep.
how
Which
to
is
go.
great.
And so they start
Yes.
following them.
It's so happy. It's such a hopeful note
Right.
for that episode.
And by the way, when they're talking about the rings, when the elves
Mhm.
are talking about the rings, several times you hear from the very end of season 1, there is a song, Where the Shadows Lie,
Yes.
which incorporates the poem about the ring, one ring to rule them all.
Yes. One ring to rule
And
them all, 3 for the Elven Kings,
3 to the Celtic, 9 to
9 for the
men,
yes.
12 to the Dwarven Lords.
Yep.
And you, the music for this thematically, you hear playing when they're talking about the rings several times.
Yes.
So it's
Yes.
tying it in really, really well. But at the end of episode 1,
Mhm.
we still don't know what has happened to, haven't seen anything in Numenor. We know that, Sauron's free again.
Mhm.
We know that we know that the stranger is with the 2 proto hobbits.
Yes.
And they're heading further into Rune, and they're being followed by someone.
Yes.
Who are the people dressed in these weird masks, and we don't know what's happened to any of the Southlanders who survived. We've
Yeah,
got,
so
and
there's
in
still
episode 1, we don't see anything of the dwarves.
yeah, so there's still a lot of characters that we haven't gotten into yet. But a lot of that
Right,
was because they spent half the episode on Sauron's backstory.
right,
Which is great.
and Sarah, it's also like you said, there are so many storylines going on here.
Yes.
That when you're dealing with the Lord of the Rings, we start out, there's basically this one storyline. Boom. This starts out with multiple threads. So
Yes.
so you've got it is a more complex story.
Yeah.
As you're doing this. And by the way, in the more complex threads, if you think this is complex threads, get into the Silmarillion and start reading about the First Age.
Yeah. Okay,
So-
2 things real quick. One,
Yeah.
what was your favorite part of this episode or the opener to the new season? And what was your least favorite part?
Oh, well, my favorite part was giving us the background on Sauron. I thought that really fleshed out and it gives us Sauron's motivation, which he kind of revealed at the end of episode 1 to Galadriel. But now we really see it fully that he thinks of himself as a benevolent dictator.
Yeah.
That a little warped,
Yeah.
What was my least favorite part of this episode? I thought that Elrond's escape, he grabs the rings and he escapes. I thought that was just a little
Forced.
too contrived.
Yeah.
That it didn't necessarily
didn't flow well with his character.
It didn't flow. It didn't flow well. Yeah.
Okay, I'll start with my least favorite. My least favorite was the other person that was following Nori and the stranger. We still don't know who they are. Even at the end of episode 2, I still don't know who they are. But their metal mask and just general thing that really brought me out of the story, and it felt more like a Star Wars character or a Marvel character than a Tolkien character. So that I think was the part that made me kind of go like, didn't love that. But My favorite part, we've already talked about it, but the Wondering song and Poppy popping back up and all that. I just love that. And I love hearing the stranger, who I think is going to be Gandalf, talking more. So, and I know we disagree about that, but we'll have to get into that later because we do not have time for this one. But
Yes.
anyways, check out our reviews of season 1. We've got a season 1 wrap up, and we've got reviews and discussion guides of episode 1, 2, and 3 out on the blog now at downthehobbitholeblog.com. Thanks for watching.